Hi everyone, welcome to Sew Lovely with Grace. If you're new here, I'm Grace. If you're returning, welcome back. Yes, I start off my videos sipping some nice hot coffee. Ooh, delicious. And as always, with all my videos, I want you to be so inspired. Yes, today it's Fearless Sewing again. Fearless Sewing in March. That's where I'm going to be doing some bold fabrics, bold trims, bold designs, and bring them to you so you can be fearless. There's nothing to fear when you sew. You just go for it and be inspired, have fun. And this week it's Fearless with Pearls. Yes, I brought out my tried and true, this will be the 4th time I've made this top, McCalls M6796, and I made this one with a lot of changes. Not a lot, but a few changes, and I want to show you those today. I also have a subscriber that sent me additional photos of her creations that I'll be showing you in subscriber creations today. And I want to show you what I do with these facial rollers, besides trying to beautify myself here in the sewing room in today's Sew Lovely tip. I also want to talk about these 2 bags I made. This I made a few months ago, but this I made this week. So I have a lot for you today. But I first want to start off with the giveaway. And this week's pattern is New Look 6509. And the question of the week was, what is your greatest fear in sewing that you'd like to overcome? I thought that was an appropriate question since we're doing fearless sewing and I'm trying to inspire you to be fearless and go for it. So I had a variety of answers from zippers, all types of zippers, invisible, regular, separating, putting in linings and garments and coats. We had people fearful of their serger, and yeah, I can understand that. So there was a big variety. But there was one fear that no one mentioned that I have, actually, and that is to make pants. Really? Yes, pants. I'm wearing pants now that I made, but they're just an elastic waist, okay, very simple, and, you know, I can make these in less than an hour, really. It's New Look 6736 that I'll be modeling later. But I'm talking pants with like zipper, darts, a waistband, you know, getting the fit right. That's what I want to tackle. So that's what I fear the most. So now let's go to the wheel. Oh, and the pattern. Did I show it to you? This one? Yes, I did. 6509. Let's go to the wheel and spin for the winner. For this giveaway, we had exactly 30 entries. I'm going to shuffle twice. Okay, once, twice, and spin. Okay, who's it gonna be? Ooh, the winner is... Sheila Pagliaccio, 9086 by a hair. Congratulations, Sheila. Wow, that was the closest winner on the wheel that I've ever seen since I've been doing these giveaways. Congratulations, Sheila Pagliaccio, 9086. You're the lucky winner of New Look 6509. Now, there is a sew-along from So Happy on her channel. I'll include the link in my description box below. She made the pants, but it'll apply to all of yous, I'm sure. So Sheila, please send me your contact information to sewlovelywithgrace@gmail.com and I'll ship the pattern out to you as soon as possible. Now I want to talk about the inspiration of pearls into my wardrobe. Well, I had an icon that inspired me, and that was Jackie Kennedy. First Lady Jackie Kennedy, she loved her pearls. Throughout history, numerous style icons have incorporated the iridescent of pearls into their aesthetic. Jackie O. Kennedy was one of the first to transform pearls into an everyday style statement, claiming that pearls are always appropriate. So I wanted to talk to you about her 3-tier necklace that she always wore. Do you remember that? She wore it throughout the term, and her signature pearl necklace was a 3-strand faux pearl piece. Did you hear that? Faux pearls. Designed by Kenneth J. Lane, featuring a distinctive Art Deco clasp. Frequently worn during her time in the White House, these real fake pearls were iconic to her style and were sold at a 1996 Sotheby's auction for $211,500. Yeah, and guess what? Do you know how much she paid for those pearls? $30. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting story, and I love Jackie's style and the pearls. And specifically for this top, as you can see, I have hand sewn pearls throughout this front of the top, including 2 on the collar. I had an inspiration from a YouTuber that I love. She's Italian, just like me, and I love her style. Her name is Alice Veneziani. And I'm going to show you a photo here of a top she wore in one of her videos. Granted, they're not pearls. I think they're like rhinestones or I'm not sure. But it gave me this idea. So yeah, so I'm using this pattern, McCalls 6796, this top, and I added a waistband at the bottom because when I first sewed this up, and you know, it just looks so blah hanging there, I added this cute waistband, and I actually used the collar piece to do that. So what I want to do first is model it for you. I'm going to show you 2 looks because I'm wearing it with 2 bags, and accessories can change the look. I am going to show you with my Babylon leather Birkin bag, and then this suede pearl bag that I made. So let me go and model it for you, then I'll come inside and talk about the details. those two looks are a lot of fun. Just change your accessories. Add a scarf, add sunglasses, and a bag, and you got a whole new look. And I just love the pearls. They're so easy. I got them at Hobby Lobby and I just sewed them on this top. What I'm going to do is show you the process here of how I made this top. Then, after that, I want to talk about this exciting bag I made. Yes, with pearls. And I'll show you that process too. I'll be sewing up McCalls 6796 View A again. This is my favorite one. This will be the fourth top, I think. It's an easy knits pattern. Why is it easy? It only has 3 pattern pieces. You have the front cut on the fold, the back cut on the fold, and then the collar, which I will cut, I have some more fabric. And I just folded this so the salvages meet in the middle and use less fabric. And now I'm just going to cut these pieces. I'm going to cut a size 16. I'm shortening it because it's really long. It goes like below the hips. I don't want that look like a tunic. So I shortened it here about an inch, but I'm also going to shorten it here a little more. I'm going to cut here where I drew these lines on both pieces. And this should be done in less than a couple hours. For step 1, I'm supposed to stitch front and back together at the shoulders, and then step 2 is a stay stitch the neck edge. What I like to do before I stitch at the shoulders is reinforce the shoulders with this clear elastic. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. This one I got at Joann's. So I'm going to stitch this down first and then stitch everything together, and then I'm going to serge it. Here's where I put in the clear elastic at the shoulders and I serged it. Okay, and I stay stitched the neckline. So the next step is to do the collar. So get the collar piece right sides together, sew down, then fold, wrong sides together in half on the fold line, and then I attach it to the neckline. After that, I'm going to stitch the side seams. I'm going to use my serger for all these steps. And then the narrow hem at the armholes. And then finally the hem at the bottom. So I should be done with this in the next 30 minutes and I'll show you the results. Oh, I forgot to mention that I'm going to fuse this EK130 Easy Knit fusible knit interfacing to the wrong side of the collar. It's not in the instructions, but I've been making this top. This will be my 4th one, and the first one I didn't do this, the other ones I did, because I like my turtleneck neckband just to have a little more structure. I don't like it floppy. And I'm going to eventually sew pearls on them, and so this will give it a little more stability. Here I fused the fusible to the wrong side of the collar, and it's folded right sides together. I'm going to serge on the center back, and then I'm going to fold wrong sides together down here to form the collar to attach to the neckline. Now what I decided to do for View A, the sleeveless top, is to make a waistband. I just want to, change it, have a waistband, and then I'm going to embellish this top with pearls. So it's just a change in this top. And what I'm going to use for that is the collar piece, piece number 3. And it's cut on the fold here, and then I'm just going to attach it to the waist. And I'm just going to extend this to 40 inches because that's my hips. I call it waistband, hip band, whatever it is. But I'm going to just play with it to see what fits. But I'm going to cut it based on this piece and lengthen to 40 inches. Then I'm going to fold it over and see how it fits. So here's the piece. I made it 40 inches long. And now I'm going to follow the instructions to making the collar, because it's basically the same thing. I'm going to make it with step 3 to put right sides together and stitch. Then I'm going to fold it down with wrong sides together. And then instead of pinning it at the top of the neck edge, I'm going to pin it at the hem of the blouse. It looks great on Fanny. The collar came out perfect. The armholes are finished. And I added this band just for interest. But, something's missing. So I want to glam it up. I just picked up these beads at Hobby Lobby, these pearl beads. It says $5.99, but they were 50% off, so I'm excited I got these. And what I'm going to do is sew them in random spots on the blouse. I was inspired by an image that I'll put here to do this because I like the style. In this image, she has, looks like rhinestones, but I'm thinking pearls. I've seen a lot of images with blouses or pants or anything with pearls. So that's what I want to do to glam it up. I just randomly placed these pearls on the blouse. They're not exactly the same distance apart, and I don't really care to have them that way. I think this looks okay. I put 2 at the, at the collar here. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that, but I could always sew these in and take them out and do whatever I want. But this is what the layout is. And I'm going to use a Frixion pen to mark each spot so I know where to sew the pearls. And then I'll just use steam to remove the marks. I tested it on a spot of this fabric and it works well. So that's the plan. Hopefully you can see the marks, but there's a little dot and I made them with the Frixion pen. And with each dot is where I'm going to sew the pearl beads. So yeah, it's very easy to make this top and add the pearls. You don't even have to add them sparsely like this. You can add them around the neckline. You can add them, have a design of a star or a flower. I've seen all kinds of images online, but I wanted this look. So now I'm going to talk about the bags that I used in modeling the outfits. Of course, you've known I love Babylon leather. And I've been with them since I think May of 2025. And I've made around 20 bags. And this was one of them they gifted me for Christmas that I made. I hand sewed this bag. I love the scarves they come with it. It's almost identical to the Birkin that you can buy, and it's very high quality. And I picked it because the color, and it just goes with this look with the pearls. It was perfect. And if you're interested in Babylon leather, now this one is a very advanced one to make. I don't know, for your first bag if you want a challenge because of this piping around. It was just, ugh. I'm getting one without the piping next. But I'll put the link in the description box below, and you can use the code SOLOVELY10 to get 10% off if you're interested. But the bag I made this week, oh my gosh, this one was just total brainstorming. I made this with this faux suede that I got at Joann's when they were open, of course. This is the faux suede that has no stretch at all. I'll show you a photo of my inspiration. It's this velvet bag that I saw online and I fell in love. I love the pearls on it. And I said, I can make that. And So Easy has a website where she makes a makeup bag, and I've made this bag numerous times using this pattern. And you can get, many zipper pouch makeup bags online. And I just followed her sew along. I actually can make it without her sew along, but I did that idea. And I'll show you the process, but I want to show you up close the details of this bag. I quilted it, and I used like this foam that I got at Joann's, and I had this metallic zipper that I got, okay, and I lined it with this satin lining I got at Hobby Lobby. I added these little tabs here when I was constructing it with the D-rings. And then this is actually a chain. I did not purchase this with the pearls. This is a chain handle that I got on Amazon, and I hand sewed the pearls in here. I weaved it in and made this chain. Now, the thing is, you can remove this chain, so you can have it like a hand clutch, which is nice too, if I could get it. Oh, I don't want to break my nails. But it is removable, believe me. Yes, see, they're removable, and you can carry it as a clutch, which if you prefer that, you know, a little clutch under your arm. I'm just trying to undo this without damaging my nails. And here we go. Got my little clutch, carry it like that or like this, and look at that bottom, beautiful, how everything lines up. I'm really proud of myself with this one. It's soft and light and just glamorous. So let me show you the process of making this bag. Now right now I'm just envisioning a bag I want to make. Just throwing out ideas and brainstorming, putting pieces together. And I have this faux suede. I got this years ago at Joann's. I want to incorporate the pearls. And I'm thinking of quilting this with a foam, you know, for the stabilizer here, for the foam for inside the bag. And using this gold metallic zip, these D-rings, and the satin fabric for the lining. And possibly constructing a pearl handle for the bag. I'm not sure about it. But I'm just brainstorming right now. And that's how I do things. I have a vision, and then I try to gather everything together and see how I'm going to put it together. For this bag, I'm going to use this tried and true pattern from So Easy, this Easy Cosmetic Bags, and I turn it into a handbag. Like I made this one, and I added straps, and I also made this bag with this pattern. And you know, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I have this template that So Easy provides. I laminated because I use this so much. This is the smaller one. I made a larger one for this bag. And what it says here is to cut 2 of the outer fabric, 2 of the lining, and 2 interfacing. So this is my outer fabric. This is a non-stretch faux suede I got at Joann's years ago. It's in my stash. So those are the outer fabrics. Then I have the lining, which is a satin I got at Hobby Lobby. It's going to be lined. And then I have this foam, this Pellon foam. And what I want to do is with the outside fabric is I'm going to quilt this. I'm going to quilt this, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to stitch the pearls on. Hand sew the pearls in the quilt. That's my plan. I decided to make a pearl handle for my bag, and I'm using this thread. It has a little wax coating on it. This thread is from Babylon Leather. It's leftover thread from their kits. I got a whole bag of thread, so it's like, why not? And I got these beads at Hobby Lobby. They're the same beads on my shirt, and I just put them on this little plate here. And it's really easy. I've already started. So I got the one needle and I threaded it up here. And the holes, these face up. So all I do is just pick one up, you know, oops, can't see it on the camera. Pick one up and just let it, you know, glide on the needle and keep going. And just feed the pearls through. They slide it pretty quick. So I just go to another pearl, the holes there, I'm holding the camera with my left hand, so, and then I'm just going to keep going, and then I'll have a handle for my bag. I want to quilt these pieces. This is the front and the back. This is the front, this is the back. And I did 2-inch wide squares. I used a 2-inch ruler, so I just used this for the lines, and I have a heat erasable pen marking them, and at the intersection points I'm going to hand sew pearls. So this is going to be a bag quilted with the pearls, and I'm working on this one now. I quilted both pieces, and what I want to do now is get the pearls, and I am going to hand sew each one of these in each intersection here for both sides of bags. So I'm going to do that. Of course, I'm going to use this thread, and then I'll show you when it's done. I've done a few pearls already, and I'm just going to keep going. So I think it's going to look good. I like it. Well, I sewed the pearls, and I think it looks wonderful. So now I got to get the lining pieces, figure out the handles, and sew it up. Now before I sew the bag together, I'm going to need these tabs. I made these with the suede fabric and this little D-ring. These are 1/2-inch D-rings, I believe. And then I'm going to use this to attach here. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to get the pearl handles to attach here. Well, I decided not to use this pearl chain for the handle. Instead, I'm going to use this gold chain I got on Amazon, and I'm going to feed the pearls through. I'm going to bead it here. I have this wax thread I got at Babylon Leather, and I just think it's going to look exquisite. Beverly sent in this photo of this two-piece set where she made the knit top from Vogue 1975, and the pants are made from Simplicity 9271. Great job, Beverly. You are so artistic and talented. Thank you for sending that in. And the next look she's actually modeling, which I'm so glad she is because she looks absolutely stunning and glamorous. She used Simplicity 8546 for the button-down shirt top and Vogue 8840 for the pants. And she looks so cute. Thank you for sending these in, Beverly. I love them. And now for today's So Lovely tip. Well, what do I do with these facial rollers that I got at Dollar Tree besides try to smooth out my skin and wrinkles on my face? In my sewing room? Well, you guessed it, to open seams. Yes, mostly if you're a quilter, this is so convenient. Now, I have the original Clover seam roller here, and this cost me a pretty penny back in the day. Well, I just checked online at Amazon, and as you can see, it's quite pricey. But these I got at Dollar Tree, so let me go to the ironing board and show you how I use them. Now for this demo, I'm not using an iron, no heat and no steam. We're just using these tools. This is a facial roller I got at Dollar Tree. This is the original Clover I got online years ago. And notice how narrow this is compared to this. This is a lot wider. And then I purchased this one recently, actually the other day. So I've yet to open it and check it out. But it should work the same way. Let me hit pause so you don't hear the crinkling. Ooh, I like this. This is heavy. It's got some weight to it. I like this a lot. Well, this is a seam roller originally from Clover, and like I said, these two from Dollar Tree. And mostly when you're a quilter, you're constantly sewing blocks and you don't want to run to the ironing board every second, so you temporarily just open the seams with a seam roller. That's what I learned because now I'm in 2 quilt groups, and it's pretty cool because I learn a lot from them. And here you go. There's a seam that's open. You could finger press it. But then again, you could use these seam rollers temporarily until you get to the iron and press them open. And this Clover, look how narrow that is. It's not that wide, ma'am. I just think I like the Dollar Tree one. Wow, this one's heavy. I think this one's my favorite, actually. So that's what this is for, to roll open your seams, press them down until you get to the iron. So I hope you like this So Lovely tip. So this week, March 17th, was St. Patrick's Day, and Tom wore this top that I made for him last year. He loves this top, and I just wanted to show it to you. I made this from New Look 6197, obviously this view, and it's just a great top. It has these gold buttons. I got the gold buttons at the sewing studio in Maitland, and the details here are this pocket, and there's this pleat that goes in the back. It's just a really cool top, and I just thought I'd show it to you here. And here's some pictures of Tom wearing it. He loves this top. So if you're watching this video on Friday, March 20th, I'm probably in the car coming back from the expo in Lakeland, Florida. The Sewing and Quilting Expo is going to be in Lakeland. It's going to be on the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. And on Friday, the 20th, which is when you're watching this video, if you are, I would be in the fashion show at noon, and I would be modeling 2 looks. So I hope we get good footage, and I'll be able to show you those in my first week of April video. Because next week is going to be my live stream, and I'm so excited about that. So I just wanted to let you know, if you have a chance and you have the Sewing and Quilting Expo in your area, you need to attend and you need to go into that fashion show and show your stuff. And finally, next week's giveaway. All right, we have Simplicity 8168. Look at these tops. How awesome. I love the two-tone colors and the sleeveless. Then we have with sleeves. Now this top, the sizes go from 6 to 14. And the fabrics are brocade, poplin, cotton types, valley, jacquards, denim, linen, sateen, ponte. I mean, there's any woven I think would work for this top. Notion's 22-inch invisible zipper, and you can always substitute a regular zipper for this. And it's a great looking top. Let's see the line drawings here. Okay, what a variety we have. So yeah, so what are the rules of the giveaway? First, you need to be a resident of US or Canada, because that's where I ship to. You need to be a subscriber to my channel. Please thumbs up this video and answer the question of the week. And this week's question is, what do you love the most about sewing? Put it in the comments. Please post your response by Monday, March 23rd at midnight, and I will respond with the word entered, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Good luck! Well, I hope you found this video informative and fun, and most of all, I hope you were so inspired.